Hey everybody, today I'd like to go over the deity of Jesus Christ. Okay, so first I'm going to go to the Old Testament, which is in Isaiah 9:6. Okay, so it says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace." Notice it says the Mighty God, meaning the one and only Mighty God. Okay, let's go to Matthew 1:21 through 23. It says, "And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. Now all this was done that might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophets, saying, Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son. They shall call his name Emmanuel." What is Emmanuel? Well, it says, which being interpreted is God with us. So, there's a second verse that says that Jesus is God. Here's a third one. It's in John 1 through 4. It says, "In the beginning was the Word." We all know that the Word is Jesus Christ. It says, "In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God." Okay? It just called the Word God. It says, "The same was in the beginning with God." So it was with the Father from the very beginning. All things were made by Him. So without Him was not anything made that was made. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. So we all know Jesus Christ is the light of men. This verse is obviously talking about Jesus Christ. It even says in John 1:14, if you drop down a little bit, it says, "And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth." So, who is the begotten Son? Jesus Christ. So, everything was made by Him. He was with the Father from the very beginning. Here's 1 John 5:7. It says, "For there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. These three are one." That's what we like to call the Trinity. No, the word Trinity isn't in the Bible. That is a description of what the Bible is telling us. That is what we named that description. But my favorite verse of all the verses that call Jesus God, this is my favorite. It is in John 20, and it is verse 28 and 29. Well, it's in verse 28. It says, "And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God." Thomas said, "I'm not going to believe that, Jesus rose from the dead. I'm not going to believe any of that garbage unless I can see the holes in his hands and put my fingers in his side where the spear pierced him." And Jesus showed him, and he said, "Put your fingers on my side. Here I am. Look." And he said, "My Lord and my God." Now this is Jesus' response. It says, "Jesus said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. But blessed are they that have not seen and yet believe."